Welcome to the Naughty Child Podcast. With me, Richard.
And me, Polly.
I'm the dad.
And I'm the daughter.
And this is Today at the Cricket.
Home Commonwealth games in their home city at their home ground.
I'd still take a Commonwealth goal.
It's pushing me on a little bit further. It's just, I've kind of tasted what it's like, and I just want to keep it going now.
Our Māori culture is massive as part of our sports identity, and that's something with the New Zealand Commonwealth Games team that's really been brought in, and it's really different probably for the White Ferns girls.
The potential to play in a Commonwealth.
I think for us, we've sort of talked about as a team being part of a wider national team.
That would be one of the highlights of my career.
It's definitely something that we're all looking forward to. I know it's a different environment. It's not, the way we used to tours.
But we're going to Birmingham and we're part of the New Zealand team. We're not the White Ferns, we're the New Zealand T20 cricket team.
So, Polly, it's Sunday the 31st of July and we have been to a match today.
I feel like we can't intro it like this because I feel...
Emotionally, tell me about your emotions, Paul.
I'm all over the place. I've been crying for the last hour. I'm in shock. England have won the Euros, and it's just... I was like, honestly, if England win, I'm not going to be able to do this podcast. If England lose, I'm not going to be able to do this podcast. So either way, it was going to be a bit of a write-off, but...
Hey, that's the beauty of sport, isn't it?
That's the beauty of sport.
And this is not a football podcast, but
No.
actually I think there are quite a lot of parallels.
We were just talking about, there are so many similarities. There are so many things that it's like, that's the same problem in cricket as in football. And we see this with so many women's sports, but
Yeah, so millions of people will have watched and celebrated England win a major tournament.
Yeah.
And how do they respond?
Yeah.
So there's a club structure in place which is seemingly a little bit chaotic. You don't know where they're going to be playing. You don't know when they're going to be playing. It's difficult to get tickets for. It's very, very similar to situation in cricket.
Yeah. But shall we have a go at trying to talk about some cricket?
Yes, because the match we went to this morning was amazing, I thought.
It feels like a year ago. It feels like a completely different day.
It was India against Pakistan, and they don't play each other very often. And of course, this is Birmingham, so there's a big Indian population and there's a big Pakistani population. And there was really good representation at the ground today. Edgbaston seemed really fuller than it did.
Surely that must be the biggest crowd. I think Hypercourse was saying it's probably the biggest standalone, like England. My brain.
Yeah.
But no, that's the fullest I've ever seen Edgbaston for a women's game. And yeah, probably similar to a lot of T20 Blast games I've seen and stuff like that. Maybe even more. But it wasn't just the numbers of people there. It was more the atmosphere. I think that made it.
It was great. And the first 2 hours we sat in the rain, just getting wet.
Which was just not fun at all.
So we got there about 10 o'clock and there was no play at all until just before midday. But then it's reduced to 18 overs a side. And Pakistan won the toss, batted first. And they were going okay, weren't they? So lost an early wicket, but then Muniba and Maroof put on 50 together and things were looking all right for them.
Sorry, just yawned. It's been a long day. But yeah, wickets fell. And oh my gosh, the amount of run out attempts and then in the end actual run outs. It was poor Sue Redfern thought she was going to have a kind of relaxed day as a TV umpire. Every 5 seconds they were like, sorry, can we have umpire review? It was a bit exhausting after a while. And the wicket, the stumps were being destructed. Every single ball. It was a bit chaotic.
Yes, so we were trying to work out what a good score would be for 18 overs. And we thought maybe 135. In the end, Pakistan were all out on the final delivery for 99. which seemed quite low.
Can we just talk about the fact Shefali Van was bowling?
I've never come across that before.
No, that also probably the first successful piece of fielding she ever does was a caught and bowled. I was just like, Shefali, any chance of helping out one of your teammates with that anytime soon, or not?
Yes, she did a bit of a comedy run out as well.
Yeah.
Where she got the ball and held it there and said to the batter, "Come on, try and get home," and then whip the bails off.
Did she?
That's what it looked like.
I don't think it was Verma though. Was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Look back on the replay.
Okay. But anyway, yeah.
Yes, so she can bowl, and it was interesting. I mean, she was bowling spin, but varied her pace a lot.
Yeah.
But even I was picking her slower ball from the stands.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be quite effective. So I think she got 2 for 8, was it?
1 for 8.
1 for 8. Oh yeah, sorry. There's a run out and a wicket, wasn't there? Yeah.
So no, I did think that was a bit surprising. To be fair, I thought it was the announcer making a mistake again, but this time it wasn't. But yeah, then India came to chase down 99. It was interesting. Shefali Verma didn't look too happy with Smriti Mandana because she was kind of hogging the strike. There was one over where in the last ball just ran for a single where it definitely could have been 2, just ran the single, so she could keep the strike, which was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great innings by Mandana. So she was not out at the end on 63. Yeah, 63. So it was very comfortable for India. So it got home with 6 and a bit overs to spare, which in a context of an 18-over game is an absolute walloping, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was great to see Pakistan play. I mean, there was a gulf between the sides, and they're coming from very different places, aren't they? Yeah. In terms of their structure and resources and history and all that sort of thing. But it was just a great occasion to be part of. Loads of singing in the crowd, real noise. When wickets were falling and sixes were being hit.
My favourite was obviously like big flags are banned in the thing. And I just thought this was genius. This guy, there was like a little hole on the edge of the flag and he put it on not on the flag, on the... They're both called flag. Wait, no, that's an umbrella, not a flag umbrella. So he got the flag and put it onto his umbrella because obviously you can bring umbrellas in and use it like a flag, which very, very smart.
And then the holly stand had this massive flag going right
which just
across
came out of nowhere.
That was amazing. It was like the beer snake Indian flag.
It was very good. But yeah, the crowd were definitely in favour of India. There were Pakistan fans, however, I think that, you could even tell when India were warming up, and they're obviously doing a bit of running between cones or whatever. As soon as they ran in the direction of the hollies, it erupted, and you were just like, "Wait, what's going on?" Oh no! Okay, they're just running over. Really, nothing that much is happening, but there was this massive reaction, which was quite cool to see. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before.
Yeah, it was great. It was a really good thing to be part of. Really enjoyed it. It's a very one-sided game, but enjoyable experience. Speaking of one-sided games,
Barbados played Australia in the evening, which I did not follow this really at all because Euros, but
I think to have followed a very similar pattern to the morning game.
Yeah. So Barbados batted first and 64 all out. Highest score was 18 by Hayley Matthews. I mean, Deandra Dottin really struggled. 8 from 22 balls. For the world boss, she was not world bossing.
No, I mean, Australia women are the world bosses, aren't they?
That's so true.
And that really was a hammering. That was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Alana King bowled amazingly. 4 for 8 with 1 maiden. It seems to be that spin is working quite well at the moment for most teams. Yeah. So potentially, well, apart from England the other day, but Tyler McGrath bowled really well as well, 3 for 13. But just kind of Australia doing Australia things, really.
Yeah, so Australia then responded to that and batted and knocked off the runs in no time at all.
Yeah, in just over 8 overs, Healy and Lanning getting most of the runs. I mean, Barbados did manage to get 1 wicket. They got the wicket of Beth Mooney, but other than that, Deandra Dottin did not have a good day in any way. She went for 25 runs off 1 over, which...
Wow.
Ouch. I must say, I've never done that. I've never bowled that badly.
Yeah, so a chastening experience for Barbados. And I guess, Barbados beat Pakistan. So the next game for Australia is up against Pakistan. So you kind of worry for Pakistan how they're going to...
Well, Pakistan are out of the tournament now.
Yeah. But they've got that final group game to play. So that could be a bit of a drubbing as well. And again, it raises that question of, is it good for teams to be absolutely hammered? In these competitions.
Well, I think in some ways, maybe for Pakistan it's not great, but because Barbados don't really exist, I feel like no, but they don't. Like
a mythical side.
They're mythical. Yeah, but in the international cricket scene, they don't particularly exist.
Yeah.
It's not a concern of thinking, oh, okay, we need to work on this development, blah, blah, blah. Pakistan, that's a concern. But when Barbados or West Indies, they obviously have a stronger side.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of a different situation. Obviously, you think, okay, why is Deandra Dottin suffering so much against Australia? Because this is a team she's come up against, and this is a team that she's on like an international stage with when she plays for the West Indies. That's a concern, but actually, like Barbados being thrashed, it's like, well, they don't exist, so it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's a bit like Central Sparks playing Australia.
This is what I think. I can't remember who I was explaining it to, but I was trying to explain that because Barbados qualified for their like domestic tournament, it is like because the Vipers won the Charlotte Edwards Cup, they now will be playing. No.
Australia women, could they come and hammer Vipers for us?
Oh, that's an idea. That's a really good idea. Yes, make it happen. I bet Vipers would find a way though. Somehow they would beat Australia. But yeah, it's kind of the same principle. So it's like, if Vipers did get hammered, it wouldn't be as much of a concern because they don't exist on the international stage.
Exactly.
That's just my thought. But tomorrow we have no games. It is a lovely rest day.
Yes. And then, so we won't do a podcast tomorrow because there's nothing to talk about. But the next games will be on Tuesday. And that's back into the other group, isn't it? So it's England are up against South Africa.
Yeah, which we're going to in the morning.
Yes, possibly. It's either the morning or the afternoon.
Well, the BBC are coming to film me in the afternoon, so that's not going to happen.
Right.
Me personally.
I'll have a word and get it changed to the morning.
That would be perfect, thank you. I just want them catching my leg spin on camera. I don't know where it's going to go, but I want them to film it. So we'll see. I really hope it's the morning. And then there'll be...
New Zealand, Sri Lanka.
So we'll be back...
Wednesday morning.
7 a.m.
With a review of what's happened on Tuesday.